There's about $7,300 a year with your name on it. You already paid for it, and almost nobody told you it's there. My 82-year-old dad, Wallace, is a Vietnam-era veteran. When he turned 65, he found out he'd already paid for most of his Medicare. Money he earned, money a lot of veterans never claim. And later in this video, I'll put his actual Medicare.gov account on the screen so you can see the proof yourself. That $7,300 is real. It's yours. And the day you skip Medicare Part B, you'll walk away from every dollar of it. By the end of this video, you'll know where that $7,300 comes from, why it's already yours, and the 3 things you lose the day you skip Medicare Part B. Let's start with the number nobody explains. The standard Medicare Part B premium in 2026 is $202.90 a month. Most veterans think that's what Part B costs. It isn't. That's what you pay. It's not what Part B costs. Here's the part that was never explained to you. By federal law, your premium is only supposed to cover about a quarter of what Part B actually costs, about 25%. That's it. The other roughly 75% comes from the federal government's general fund. This isn't an opinion. It's written into federal law. The premium is set by the Social Security Act, Section 1839, and the Balanced Budget Act of 1997 permanently fixed that premium at 25% of what Part B actually costs. The government's own document says it in plain English. Quote, transfers from the general fund of the Treasury pay approximately 3/4 of these costs, end quote. So the real cost of your Part B is about $810 a month. You pay roughly $200 of it. The federal government puts in the other $600 every month on your behalf. Add that up over a year, and the federal subsidy is roughly $7,300 per person set aside for you. Now, remember my dad, Wallace, from the start of this video? Dad doesn't even pay the full $202.90, not even close. There's a reason, and it's a story of its own. I'll come back to Dad in a minute, but first, the question that changes everything: why would the federal government pay $7,300 a year toward your health care? So what does the $7,300 actually come from? Here's the part almost nobody gets told. You remember the FICA box on your pay stubs. Every paycheck, military service, civilian jobs, it didn't matter. FICA came out. If you earned $50,000 a year on average over a 40-year career, you paid about $58,000 into Medicare through FICA. And if you earned more, you paid more. That money funded your Part A hospital coverage. But that's only half the story. You also paid federal income taxes your entire working life. And those income taxes are what fund the 75% subsidy on your Part B. 2 different taxes, 2 different parts of Medicare, both paid by you. So the $7,300 a year isn't a handout. It isn't charity. It's a benefit you bought and paid for through every tax return you ever filed. That's why nobody could tell you it was there. Nobody wanted you to notice you'd already paid for it. You earned both, Part A through FICA, the Part B subsidy through your income taxes. And here's what makes this even clearer. The VA's own website asks the question, if I already have VA healthcare benefits, should I still sign up for Medicare when I turn 65? Their answer, yes. We encourage you to sign up for Medicare as soon as you can. Think about that. The VA is telling every veteran to get Medicare, even 100% disabled veterans with full VA health care. And there's one more thing Medicare's own handbook tells you about $202.90. It's on page 11. So the federal government already covers 75% of your Part B. That's automatic once you enroll. But your 25% share, that $202.90, there's something you can do about that too. On page 11 of the 2026 Medicare New Handbook, it says about Medicare Part C plans. Some plans may have a $0 premium and may help pay all or part of your Part B premium. That's Medicare's own language. Let me break it down. Medicare Advantage, also called Part C, is allowed to have a $0 premium. The right Part C plan for you can cost nothing extra per month to have. But here's what you need to know first. To be eligible for Part C, you have to have Medicare Part A and B. You can't skip Part B and still get Part C. Part A and B are the foundation. And that second part of the quote may help pay all or part of your Part B premium. That means a Part C plan is allowed to help pay part of your 25% share. So the government covers 75%, and the right Part C plan can help with what's left. Now, does the VA cover everything? Routine dental? Unless you have a 100% rating, no. Vision? Sometimes. Hearing? Sometimes. And most veterans don't have a 100% rating. Original Medicare doesn't cover routine dental, vision, or hearing. Medicare Advantage is allowed to provide benefits that go beyond what the VA and Original Medicare provide on their own. Let me show you what this looks like with a real person, my dad. Last year, Dad called me. Chris, they won't cover it, is what he said. He needed a procedure. The VA said wasn't medically necessary. They denied it. Dad, 82 years old, Vietnam-era veteran, and the system he served told him no. Dad was very happy that he had his Medicare. His Part C plan covered the procedure. No arguments, no appeals, no waiting. And here's what Dad says every time. Chris, the VA is great, but it ain't perfect. Now, here's the part that surprises every veteran. Dad doesn't pay $202.90 for his Part B. Like I said, Dad pays $17.90, and I'm going to put his actual Medicare.gov portal on the screen right now to show you. So here we are about to log into my dad's Medicare.gov account so we could show you his premium of $17.90. We click log in. You'll notice his name is here, and where you want to go to look for this is under your name here towards the top right. Dad's name is Wallace, and you go to My Premiums. Click on My Premiums, and this is where it will show it, and we'll get into a little bit more detail. Current monthly premium, $17.90, not $202.90. Click on Premium Details, and now it'll start showing why this is. Again, $17.90 for July of 2026. I'm obviously filming this in July. The Part B amount is $202.90. He has no Part B late enrollment penalty. He has no Part B IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amount. That's a surcharge for what the government says is a high wage earner. And then here is where he gets the money back. The MA plan Part B premium. Notice it says here when you scroll over the eye, some Medicare Advantage plans pay all or part of your Part B premium. So his MA plan, Medicare Advantage, is paying $185 of the $202.90 on his behalf. So what he has to pay is $17.90, not $202.90. And you'll see this because he's going to be on this plan the whole year, $17.90 for December, November, October, August, all the way back to when this particular plan went into place, which was January of 2026, $17.90. You just saw my dad's actual Medicare.gov portal. Dad's Part C plan is allowed to have a $0 premium, and it does. So it costs him nothing extra per month to have. And Dad isn't getting any low-income help. And because of what page 11 describes, Dad gets $185 of the $202.90 covered. So Dad has $17.90 subtracted from his Social Security for Part B instead of $202.90. This is the kind of guidance the veterans who go through our process get every day. Our average client that goes through our process gets $145 of their Part B premium coverage. Some get more, some get less. Dad's $185 is the highest available in his county. That doesn't mean $185 is available in your county. Your county is different. The plans, the costs, and what any plan is allowed to do with your Part B premium all change by county. That's why we look it up for every veteran individually. And through all of it, Dad's VA benefits didn't change. They can't. Medicare is not allowed to affect your VA health benefits in any way. Now let me show you the other side. What happens if you say no to Part B? Skip Medicare Part B and you lose three things at once. First, you forfeit the federal subsidy, approximately $7,300 a year set aside for you, funded by federal income taxes you already paid. Second, you lose your enrollment penalty protection. If you ever need to enroll later, the late enrollment penalty is 10% for every full 12 months you delayed. That penalty is permanent for life. And here's the double whammy. The penalty is a percentage of the current year's Part B premium. So when the premium goes up almost every year, the penalty goes up with it. Third, and this one is the worst, if you have TRICARE for Life or CHAMP VA, you lose that coverage entirely. TRICARE for Life requires you to have at least Medicare Part A and B. Drop Part B, and the wraparound coverage ends the day you say no. 3 forfeitures all at once, all permanent. That's what saying no to Part B actually costs. 3 veterans, same age, same $202.90 Part B premium, 3 different outcomes. Veteran 1 listened to bad advice, skipped Part B for 5 years. Now he pays a 50% penalty every month for life. And he walked away from the $7,300 a year in subsidy he'd already paid for. Veteran 2 enrolled in Part B, so he's getting his 75% subsidy, but nobody told him about page 11. So he pays the full $202.90 every month, leaving money on the table he doesn't have to. And Veteran 3 knows what dad knows. He enrolled on time. He's getting his $7,300 subsidy, and a Part C plan is helping with his share. He used what he earned, and his VA benefits didn't change. Same age, same premium, 3 completely different outcomes. Which veteran are you going to be? Here's what I want you to walk away with. That $7,300 a year already belongs to you. You didn't win it. Nobody gave it to you. You paid for it through FICA, through your income taxes, through your service. So this was never a question of whether to buy something. It's a question of whether to claim something that's already yours. There's a window to claim it, 7 months around your 65th birthday. Miss it, and the penalty follows you for life. There's no reset button. I wrote Medicare for Veterans, the complete field guide. You can read it free at freevetsbook.com or grab a copy on Amazon. Scan the code on your screen right now, and it'll take you straight there. You're seeing 2 videos on your screen. One breaks down exactly how the Part B penalty works and what it costs you for life. The other shows you what happens when the VA says no and Medicare says yes. Both are worth your time. I'm Chris Duncan, and remember, we speak veteran.